A lot of NBA players have injuries, and they don't come back the same. Guys like Brandon Roy, Bill Walton, Tracy McGrady, and Penny Hardaway are just a few examples of guys who never come back the same. But with the rise of technology and more information about the human body, athletes have come back even better from devastating injuries. Guys like Sean Livingston, DeMarcus Cousins, and Paul George are just a few examples of guys who have come back from these injuries. But today I'm going to be talking about Paul George and why he has a case to win the MVP this season. Cue that intro.
When my grandma died, I jumped off the porch and started hustling. Me and 3-3 in and out while we was thugging. Promise I won't let her.
Paul George this season has been playing at an extremely high level. There's no doubt this is the best year of his NBA career. He's currently averaging 27.8 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2.4 steals a game. He shoots 45% from the field and 40% from the three-point line, which are really good, especially for a guy who takes a lot of shots, because he's the number one option right now on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he's been doing things that we've never really seen Paul George do in his NBA career so far. The other night against the Boston Celtics, he had 37 points, and the other night against the Miami Heat, he had a career-high 10 three-pointers, and he had 43 points, which is just absolutely insane, and that's also a franchise record for the Oklahoma City Thunder. On the offensive end, Paul George he's been doing it all. He is Oklahoma City's offense right now, and when Russell Westbrook, he's not really having his nights, Paul George is right there to carry the way. Paul George is also one of the best defensive players in the league. You can even make an argument that he should win Defensive Player of the Year. His overall impact on the defensive end for the Oklahoma City Thunder has simply been amazing. If you watch him play and you see what he does on the defensive end, you can really tell, like, this guy, he really knows what he's doing. Especially when it comes to guarding the perimeter. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. And also, he leads the league in steals, right at 2.4 a game. And he's just been playing like this even last year. Last year, he was one of the best defensive players of the year. But that's really one of the main reasons why Paul George could fit on any NBA team, because he could guard multiple positions. He could shoot the three-point ball extremely well. And he doesn't need the ball in his hands to actually dominate the game. That's why he can fit with any NBA player that he plays with, because he just doesn't need the ball in his hands. He's more of a two-way star, but he's really becoming that guy, that star player for the Oklahoma City Thunder this season. I think one of the key reasons why Paul George has been so successful this season is because Russell Westbrook is just giving him the keys to the offense. He's letting Paul George do things like taking over the games and just giving him the ball when he's hot, because there are a lot of nights that Russell Westbrook, he can't make a shot, so he gives the ball to Paul George and he lets Paul George takes over the games, and most of the time it works out and they end up winning the game, and that's why they're the third seed right now in the Western Conference. Especially if you compare to last season, even though Oklahoma City, they still finished impressively as a fourth seed last year, and they had a lot of, drama and team chemistry issues. They were a team last year seen to possibly make the Western Conference Finals, and they didn't live up to those expectations. Paul George, he only averaged 21.9 points that season, and I think really it was just for him, it was really just adjusting to the new role that he had on the team, because he was always that guy on the team, and now he was with Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony, guys who needed the ball to dominate in games. It was just a really hard time for them to really adjust. But this season, the Oklahoma City players have really stepped up in the newfound way. Guys like Terrence Ferguson, Jeremy Grant, Steven Adams, of course Russell Westbrook, and Dennis Schroeder, a guy who they have coming off the bench, who I think is really one of the key pieces for the Oklahoma City Thunder, of course, this season, because they really needed a guy who could play make and get buckets, and that's what Dennis Schroeder, he does for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the crazy part is Andre Robertson, a guy who they had last year. Of course, he wasn't the best offensive player, but when it comes to defense, this guy is one of the best defenders on that team and one of the top perimeter defenders in the league. His overall impact on the defensive end for the Oklahoma City Thunder was just extremely amazing, and they still really need him on this team right now, because he takes their defense to another level. This team is still talented enough to possibly make the Western Conference Finals. The last thing that I wanted to point out was just Paul George's overall story. I mean, this guy came back from one of the worst injuries that I've ever seen. He wasn't supposed to be this good coming back from an injury like how he did. He really defied all the odds. Paul George right now is playing like the best version of himself. He's really doing things that I really never expected him to do, but he's doing it. This version of Paul George is easily better than the version of Paul George in Indiana. I think the Paul George in Indiana, he was just a more explosive guy. He still, of course, had an extremely good jump shot, and he could still do things that he does now. But now his game's just more polished. He could finish around the rim even better. He has even better handles. He's just overall a lot more crafty of a player. He's really making it look easy this year. Really, one of my favorite parts is that he's just embracing the role of being one of the team leaders for the Oklahoma City Thunder, especially for a team that's a very small market franchise, but they've always found success in this area of basketball. They've always been able to have pretty good players, and it's good that Paul George did, because like how he said that they had unfinished business in Oklahoma City Thunder, and he's doing that right now. Crazy part is there's still another half of the NBA season left. So much more could happen. But what do you guys think? Can Paul George possibly win MVP? Let me know down in the comment section below, and like, subscribe for more great content, and hope you enjoy your day. Peace.